Hello and welcome to today's episode on part 1 of Implementation and Assessment of Organizational Development. My name is Rayan Zahoor and the subject expert is Dr. Arshia Hussain, PhD in Human Resource Management and teaching in the Department of Commerce and Business Studies, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. The business environment and the technology that is crucial to it is changing at a rapid pace. Organizations must change the attitude and knowledge of its employees and also its framework so that it can be in a position to adapt to the various challenges that the rapidly changing business environment brings. Organizational development is the process that promotes these changes. The process that takes place for these changes to happen can be called organizational development. The concept of organizational development. This is an approach that believes in people at all the different levels in an organization. In several cases, employees are underutilized but are capable. According to Barbara Senior, if they are given an opportunity to take on more responsibility for the work that they do and to make further contributions to the achievement of the objectives of the organization, they will be able to do it. According to French and Bell, organization development or OD is an effort over a long period of time to improve the problem solving and renewal process of an organization, which is supported by the senior management, especially by using an effective and collaborative diagnosis. Through the management of organization culture, with the help of a facilitator and also by using the theory and technology of applied behavioral science along with action research. According to Cumming and Worley, organizational development is a process through which behavioral knowledge and practices are used in order to help organizations to become more effective. This includes a better quality of life, an increase in productivity, and an improvement in the quality of product and service. The focus is on improving the ability of the organization to assess its own problems and solve them. Organizational development is oriented towards improving the total system of the organization. It also improves various parts of the organization as well with a view of a larger business environment. The objective of organizational development is to update and maintain an organization so that it can continue to develop and evolve and be in a position to handle the competitive environment. It is a process of re-educating so that the changing strategies can be managed with effective planning. It is not just changes in knowledge and information, but it also includes changes in attitudes, technology, human relationships, and the culture. Organization development has clear goals and planning and has the support of top management. All the activities in the process of organizational development are directed towards planning and carrying out the goals. The advantage of having clear goals is that it keeps the employees motivated and improves productivity. The importance of having clear goals cannot be emphasized enough. It brings out the maximum potential of humans as well as technology. A very important factor of organizational development is to confirm the long-term learning objectives and update the skills of everyone in the organization. Nature and scope of organizational development. OD is a mechanism that is built within the organization for the entire life of the organization. Its objectives is to protect the health of the organization and constantly renew itself. This is often done with the help of a catalyst or a change agent. It uses appropriate theories and techniques from applied behavioral sciences, sociology, anthropology, and phenomenology. The term catalyst or change agent are synonymous with the idea of a leader who is constantly engaged in the process of effective transformation, as opposed to management that uses a more incremental or efficiency based change methodology. Behavioral science has provided the foundation for the study and practice of organizational development. However, new and emerging fields have also made contributions towards its development. Experts in systems thinking and organizational learning, along with body-mind synchronicity, mind maps, structure of intuition and decision making, and coaching are a few of the fields that have emerged as catalysts of organizational development. These perspectives view the organization as a holistic interplay of several different systems that impact both the process and outputs of the entire organization. Implementation of organizational development. Organizational development is the primary tool to develop and demonstrate the culture of an organization, and it is this culture that sustains how the organization executes and embraces change, manages the focus on customers, creates additional value, and integrates new team members. Implementation of organizational development can happen at two levels. First, at the team structure level, and the second at the organization structure level. Implementation at the level of team structure and function. New team startup, team transitions, team building, issue consensus, multi-team mirror, inter-team team building. New team startup. Objectives: to accelerate the process through which individual team members coordinate their efforts in order to become a team that is both efficient as well as effective. To clearly define and put into practice the desired guidelines for the interactions of the team. Focus of development: the collective vision and mission for the team, individual roles and responsibilities, coordinating and aligning the strategies, plans and various measures of success for the entire team, methods that will be used for the resolution of conflicts. Participants: all the members of the group that has been newly formed, like project teams, new business startups, matrix organizations, and so on. This includes managers and could also include close external stakeholders. Benefits: an environment is created where issues related to team members can be openly discussed and resolved. Team members get an opportunity to understand the vision and mission of the organization and the roles that each of them will be playing to accomplish that. They also get a clear understanding of the processes that have been laid down for interactions with each other. Implementation and timescale. It is implemented when the team is created and gets together to initiate the process of developing its goals and objectives. It requires 3 to 4 days depending on the clarity or ambiguity of the mission of the team. If the mission is simple and straightforward, it takes lesser time, but if it's complex and ambiguous, it takes longer. Team transitions. Objectives: to give an opportunity to a team to assess the impact of a new team leader and to plan the required adjustments. To provide an opportunity to a newly appointed team leader to become familiar with the group, its team members, resources, its goals, and its activities. To give an opportunity to both the team members and the team leader to share and explore each other's working styles and preferred practices. Focus on development: the goals, tasks, priorities, and methods of the team, the structure of the team and its operating procedures, the roles of team members and their contributions to the performance of the team, the experience of the incoming team member and his or her priorities as well as goals, the leadership, the communication, and the decision-making styles. To reduce the conflict of the role, any ambiguity, and any resistance to change. Participants: all the members of the existing team as well as the incoming team leader. Benefits: all the participants get an opportunity to assess the performance of the team and the use of its resources. An increased awareness of the need and importance of teamwork during the period of transition. A clear statement of the goals, priorities, and the norms of the team helps in accelerating the process through forming, storming, norming, and performing. Implementation and timescale. The implementation is suitable for a group that has not gone through an organizational development intervention before. It takes 3 to 5 days depending on the size of the group and the methods of the collecting information. Team building. Objectives. To review the effectiveness of a team and make improvements in it. To provide the team with an opportunity to assess its processes, its performance and its strengths and weaknesses. To identify areas where there is a problem related to team behavior and take corrective action to fix those problems. Focus of development. Performance of the team, contributions of individuals to the overall team performance, goals of the team, long-term and short-term strategies, the process of setting goals, specific plans for individuals which are aligned with team goals, the composition of the team, its structure, its operating procedures and its efficiency, team norms, its culture and the feedback process. Participants. The team leader and all the members of the team. For practical reasons, the number of participants is generally between 3 and 15. Benefits. The process provides an environment and a structure for realistic appraisal of the process of the team and also the relationships between the team members. The use of anonymous information facilitates an analysis which is centered around the problem instead of centered around a person. The team leader gets an opportunity to create a model for the type of behavior which is preferred for an effective working of the team. Teamwork gets more synchronized as team members get better acquainted with each other. This is particularly noticeable when it comes to preferences of working styles and also in the context of work pressure and priorities. Implementation and timescale. The implementation is generally not the first step for a team except when the members of the team are familiar with organizational development interventions. When steps are taken early for the senior management in the organization, it can be very useful. This should be done before a more comprehensive organizational development effort is made throughout the organization. The initial sessions should be followed up by another session after about 3 to 9 months. This needs to be done to assess the progress on action plans. It should take 5 to 7 days depending on the size of the team. Issue consensus. Objectives. To examine the effectiveness of a hierarchical organizational system and to improve it. To identify the most important issues that undermine effectiveness. To explore methods that can resolve priority issues. To get specific commitments towards goals and actions. Focus of development. Goals of the organization, priorities, long-term and short-term strategies, and the related procedures of setting goals. Performance of the organization. Structure of the organization, its operating procedures, and its efficiency. Specific plans for accomplishing the objectives of the organization. Participants. If possible, the entire organization should participate. However, if that is not possible, then representatives from all organizational levels should participate. Limitations on participants should be placed only due to the constraints of time and their ability to process the information. Benefits. The emphasis of the intervention is on honest organizational self-appraisal in an environment that is open and representatives from all levels of the organization are present. The communication is improved and there is a better understanding of issues throughout the organization, resulting in an action plan that increases commitment among the top leadership as well as middle and frontline employees. Implementation and timescale. The implementation should follow other organizational development activities. In other words, it should not be the initial intervention. It should take around 3 days depending on the size of the group. Multi-team mirror. Objectives. To evaluate the interactions between 3 or more teams that are interdependent. The emphasis should be on improving the effectiveness of the team that has been identified as the host team, to give an opportunity to all teams to share individual and mutual goals, to give an opportunity to all teams to share the perceptions they hold of each other in relation to the contributions each of them makes towards the effectiveness of the other teams. To identify areas of improvement in the relationships of the host team with each of the other teams, and then to create action plans that will help in attending to these areas. Focus of development. The performance of the host team while it interacts with all the other interdependent teams, the contribution of each team towards the overall performance, the goals and strategies that are required for improving the relationship of each team with the host team during their interactions. Participants. All the members of at least 3 interacting teams or their representatives. This includes the host team and 2 other teams that are selected by the host team, or they are selected as an outcome of the needs assessment. Benefits. The host team gets feedback which is constructive based on its activities with interacting teams. All the teams involved get an opportunity to think through and assess their working relationships. There is an emphasis on positive improvement which prevents a defensive reaction that might have come from the host team. Implementation and timescale. The implementation should follow other organizational development activities. In other words, it should not be the initial intervention. It should take between 3 and 4 days. This depends on the size of the group. Inter-team team building. Objectives. To examine the total effectiveness of 2 teams that are interdependent and improve it. To identify problem areas for each team and provide corrective actions for them and joint remedies as well. Focus of development. The performance of the team, it should be considered separately for both the teams and then together as well. The goals of the teams, long-term and short-term strategies, and the process of setting the goals. Specific plans for individual team members in relation with the team and also inter-team roles. Operating procedures for inter-team interactions and their efficiency. Participants. All the members of both the interacting teams. Benefits. The teams engage in an appraisal process of their interactions which is honest. Teamwork is improved when team members get better acquainted with each other, particularly in relation to preferences of working style and specific working conditions and work pressure. Planning between the 2 teams take place. Implementation and timescale. The implementation should generally follow other organizational development interventions. In other words, it might not be right as a first intervention. It should take around 3 to 4 days. Implementation at the level of team structure and function. Strategic planning, survey guided development, team goal setting, job development, role development, new division startup. Strategic planning objectives. To establish strengths and weaknesses of the organization in relation to its capabilities of accomplishing its mission currently and also in the future. To recognize environmental factors that currently influence the organization in order to effectively forecast the future impact they could have. To create specific strategies, plans, goals, and objectives that will ensure the commitment of the organization towards resolving the problems that have been identified. Focus of development. The awareness of the team for future issues and factors that are likely to affect its performance. The goals of the team, its long-term and short-term strategies, the process for setting goals, specific plans and objectives for departments, functions and individuals in relation to the action plans of the team, developing contingency plans and identifying solutions for the problems that have been forecasted. Participants. All the members who are a part of the management team of the organization. If it is not possible to have all of them, then representatives from all levels of management should participate. Benefits. Strategies that are effective for medium to long term can be developed with the maximum involvement of those individuals who are likely to commit themselves for the implementation of these strategies. Digressions that waste time are minimized during the planning period by separating assumptions from facts. Managers are in a position to create effective change plans by examining the business environment of the organization and other possible constraints that might affect the organization. Implementation and timescale. This can be an excellent starting point for an organizational development intervention. It should take 3 to 5 days. Summary. The business environment and the technology that is crucial to it is changing at a rapid pace. Organizations must change the attitudes and knowledge of its employees and also its framework so that it can be in a position to adapt to the various challenges that the rapidly changing business environment brings. Organizational development is the process that promotes these changes. The objective of organizational development is to update and maintain an organization so that it can continue to develop and evolve and be in a position to handle the competitive environment. It is a process of re-educating so that the changing strategies can be managed with effective planning. Organizational development is a mechanism that is built within the organization for the entire life of the organization. Its objective is to protect the health of the organization and constantly renew itself. This is often done with the help of a catalyst or a change agent. It uses appropriate theories and techniques from applied behavioral science, sociology, anthropology, and phenomenology. The terms catalyst or change agent are synonymous with the idea of a leader who is constantly engaged in the process of effective transformation, as opposed to management that uses a more incremental or efficiency based change methodology. Organizational development is the primary tool to develop and demonstrate the culture of an organization, and it is this culture that sustains how that organization executes and embraces change, manages the focus on customers, creates additional value, and integrates new team members. Implementation of organizational development can happen at two levels. First, at the team structure level, and the second at the organization structure level. Implementation at the level of team structure and function, new team startup, team transitions, team building, issue consensus, multi-team mirror, and inter-team team building. Implementation at the level of team structure and function, strategic planning, survey guided development, team goal setting, job development, role development, new division startup. This is all we have for today. Hope the session was informative. We will meet again in the next episode with part 2 of implementation and assessment of organizational development. Till then, take care and goodbye.